أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله ربنا تقبل منا أنت سميع عليم. That is to say, I seek refuge with Allah from Shaitan, and in the name of God, the most gracious and merciful. And I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that the Prophet Muhammad SAW is his messenger and his final messenger. And I ask Allah to accept our service today, for He is the all hearing and He's the all knower. I greet you, beautiful brothers and sisters that are in presence, and the ones that's out there supporting us in on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. I greet you with the beautiful greeting of Assalamu alaikum.
Wow.
As we continue on this beautiful day, our public address, Talim, alhamdulillah, again, which is to continue to help our purpose and striving what we're supposed to be doing and what we need to be doing, and the universal topic, which was our community is a garden. And so it's such a beautiful day to be here today to try to help put this work in to continue and try to help cultivate, bring some assistance to try to open some minds out here in the community, inshallah. Again, our topic has been our community as a garden, and our goal, again is to first try to cultivate ourselves, so that we can be in the position to cultivate somebody else and to try to help somebody else. Um, as I have been studying, and I had looked over our Imam Muhammad Muhammad, may Allah forgive him his sins and grant him the paradise, as he was explaining in his tafsir and explaining on the levels of heaven, the different seven levels of heaven. But it was a certain level that brought my attention was with Aaron and Moses, alhamdulillah. And because on the fifth level, Aaron, which represented the culturally logically, evolving logically, and Moses, which had represented education after error, and man, and when I ran across that kind of spoke to me and combined into our topic, what we're trying to do, because right now we're dealing in a culture which is lacking, is evolving into a logic stage, because it's so caught up in all the other different vices and everything around it. And so again, we have to make sure, like you said, going back to that garden, for it to evolve and to grow into a successful stage. What you have to do, you have to make sure you assist and you attend that garden. You cannot leave the garden absent and thinking that the garden is going to grow and evolve and take care of itself. And so again, that's what's been going on lately in our cultural environment and and our communities and everything. Nobody's going out to assist the community or assist the kids like they should, and so they're left evolving into this era. And so I had read Surah 20 Tahat when it says that Allah says, "We have tested the people in thy absence. The Samiri has led them astray." Allah said, "We have tested thy people in thy absence. The Samiri has led them astray." And the Samiri was a rebel Hebrew leader that was against Moses, but still he went with them as they had fled away from Pharaoh. And also Samari also means good friend or who talks late into the night. And going back to what's the things that's distracting us in life, or individuals that try to come to us as good friends and try to talk to us late at night to influence us or whatever, or at night, which is or some dark times, or in our times of absence when our kids are not when we're not around our kids, or we're not attending to the community when our absence is there was gone. And that's another thing when Satan has a time when he wants to creep in, when he wants to start influencing. Because remember, it says, Allah said, "We have tested our people in our absence." A lot of us, some of us, have got in trouble because of the absence of our father, the absence of our mother, or just the absence of anybody that's trying to redirect us when we was going astray. Uh, Me and my wife, we was watching a documentary the other night, which is at the end is real sad because again, it's our culture and the individuals. Of course, again, it's the rapping culture, and these group of guys, majority of them, when they was talking, they was sharing how their father was killed and wasn't in their life. Uh, Most of them, their father wasn't there in their lives, and they grew up in poverty, grew up poor, um, grew up in all um, the detention centers that was around in the community. What it say correction detention center, but of course there wasn't any correction going on because and so it's like they went into these systems and came out even worse because they had went in and then adopting other behaviors or introduced to other behaviors. That goes to that late night talk. Because when you go in there, you start meeting people, you're getting to know somebody. We used to call it riding at night, and then you're talking, and well, what you in here for? What you? Oh, okay, okay. Oh, so now you learning other little different things. Again, when you in these detention centers or you somewhere else, you are absent away from your father or your mother and your grandmothers. You're not getting none of that love, and you in a system, you know. And so again, they start to make you believe I'm your good friend, I'm your homie, I'm your best advisory and everything. And so now you start letting your guards down and you start entrusting them and you start giving yourself to them. And and sooner or later you start evolving not into a logic stage, but into a illogic stage. I used to share with my kids. You want to make logic moves, not illogic moves, because what ill at the beginning is what sick moves. And so you don't want to make a sick move, a sick decision in life. You want to make a logic, a healthy decision in life. So remember, Aaron represents um, culturally evolving logically, culture evolving logically, and Moses represents education after the era. So as these individuals, as they start to come out and start rapping about their illogic lifestyle, a sick lifestyle. Of course, that's what this society pays for. Is for the sickness. They don't want they don't want to pay for their health. You know what I'm saying? So they influence and gave these young undeveloped minds a lot of money, and it creates jealousy in between them. And now it becomes bickering in between each other, because now as you grow, not logically but illogically, and you grow and not developmentally, and you start weighing yourself down with these worldly ornaments, these worldly ornaments, because in that was Surah 2085 that I read when it says that Allah says we have tested thy people in thy absence. The Samiri has led them astray. And remember, he was one of the Hebrew leaders that after Moses had left up and went into the mountains, and he wasn't man enough to say nothing. Of course, while Moses was there, you know how you heard certain people, they want to wait till people leave, then want to try to start throwing their 2 cents or whatever in. But then it says that in the second, in Surah 86, it says, so Moses returned to his people in a state in diligent, in not in diligent, in a state of in the nation, and sorrow, in the nation and sorrow. Meaning he was righteously mad. He was frustrated. He said to my people, did not your Lord make you a handsome promise to you? Then did the promise seem to you long in coming, or did he desire the wrath should descend from your Lord on you, and he breaks your promise to me? So remember, Allah is the best promiser. His promise is best. We can say on Cash be saying on my mama on this and that or whatever. I give you my word, but that ain't holding up nothing, man. It's not holding up nothing to what Allah has promised you, what Allah has given you. Again, because here it was that Moses was trying to make a better place and give his people something better than where they was coming from, because they was coming from an oppressed environment already. So now he went up into the mountain. Remember, the mountain represents knowledge. I'm going to get something to come back and give you instruction how to live right. Going to give you the tools to try to help you how to live a better life and a better, correct life. But we so impatient as people. And so as we telling our kids, about just be patient with the drugs. Don't worry about that partying and all that stuff. That ain't nothing. You ain't missing nothing. Be patient. You don't have to indulge into that lifestyle. You don't have to indulge in that pre-marriage sex lifestyle. You're not missing nothing. And into that drinking type of lifestyle. You're not missing nothing. I'm telling you, Allah has a promise for you. If you just stay in your beautiful natural way, Allah has a promise for you. But again, we have to go to work. They have to go to school, to that system, to they call an educational system. But as to begin, when they go to school, they run into some Siamese. Some of your good friends. Let me get your number so I can talk to you late at night. Your dad got to go to work. He can't be around you all the time. Yeah. Yeah, he telling you that these handsome words, the promises that what God can give you and everything and stuff like that. Man, don't you want to just live a little bit? And of course, we catch them. Of course, we sorrow, we mad, we disappointed because here it is. We're trying to educate our loved ones and everything. We trying to give them the best because we know Allah has gave us the best. He brought us out of the darkness and into the light because we trust His promise. Yeah, alhamdulillah. So he said, descent from your Lord on you, and so He broke your promise to me. They say, we broke not the promise to thee, as for a lie in our power, but we were made to carry the weight of the ornaments. It goes back, the ornaments, it said it represents the weight of the people. The weight of the peer pressure. People always coming at you with something. Again, the absent is gone. Moses has left. And so now, while he's gone, you're gonna have while I'm not in my son's present, you're gonna have people coming at the weight of him. Well, he's gone, he's absent now. Now let's do this, let's do that. Because they said then, because of the weight of the ornaments, and he suggested them to throw their ornaments into the fire. And then of course it tells you about they start worshiping the golden calf, right? So what do fire represent? Fire represents desires, right? So here it is now that the weight of your peers, your peer pressure of people steady trying to influence you and trying to influence certain people in the neighborhoods, certain rappers, certain movies. It's just steady trying to influence. And so what it is, some people give up and they throw in the towel or something, right? So I throw into my desires. I give up. I start entertaining my desires now. The weak ones, but hopefully, again, our purpose again, like for these public address and for this Taleen is again, here it is, we're trying to remind you that you have a tool. You have a tool to put out them fires. You have a tool to put out those desires, which is the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad through his sunnah, through his behavior, inshallah. And we're blessed again, like brother that gave the khutbah yesterday, like you said, Allah is so merciful. Yeah, we understand that the Prophet Muhammad SAW is the Sunnah and the last prophet, but Allah is so merciful that He gave us Wardi Muhammad as a messenger for us to come over here as in America to help and explain this beautiful work, this beautiful Quran to us to give us understanding. And may Allah forgive him his sins and grant him paradise. Because wasn't nobody over here talking to us black African Americans back in the days, trying to break down this book or try to teach us to live right, or try to teach us to live with honesty, or trying to break down this book with understanding. I'm a witness because when I first, alhamdulillah, took my shahada, and I went to some of the brothers of other race and everything, and you know, I was so happy that I have the Quran. I mean, that I took my shahada, and I want to learn more. I want to learn more, but you know, subhanallah, astaghfirullah, I mean, they wasn't as open to explain or to teach like when I met the community of Wardi Muhammad, alhamdulillah. Because when I met that community, I was able to open up to my family now, to explain stuff to my family now, to my friends now, to give them a better understanding of Islam. You know, because sometimes when you go and you meet other coaches, it's real strict and it's real straight to it, and so it's a lot of this. I've seen a lot of brothers or sisters got chased away, you know, but alhamdulillah that Allah has blessed us with the Prophet Muhammad SAW and with the message of Wardi Muhammad to break it down, to share so we can learn this book better, to teach this book, and so that we can give our family the tools so we can start this culture evolving logically, so that we can educate ourselves after the era. Because at one time we was in error, right? We didn't know no better. We was toting around these ornaments around us, gold chains or thoughts, because these ornaments can also represent your intuitive mind and your natural mind. Because again, you're naturally gonna learn some things when you see some stuff, you know, or when you're around some stuff, consciously and unconsciously, you know, and again, this stuff is gonna stick with you for the rest of your life. But do you have the tools to overcome some of maybe the trauma stuff that you've seen when you was a young man or a young mind? Do you have the tools to overcome these things? Like say the individual that I was saying when they was talking about, yeah, man, I seen my father get killed in front of me. I seen my cousin get killed in front of me. So now when I'm out here, when they out here making these violent rap lyrics, talking about killing one another, they don't care, because that's become, like I said, that became their norm to them. They intuitively, that's what they seen. So they start thinking that was the natural thing to do. That's what's been going on the last couple of weeks around here with these wannabe so-called rappers around here in the neighborhood that has started taking each other's lives. Is that you picking up a behavior off a perception that you have seen and you have no education about, and you thinking that's natural. See, we get the norm and natural mixed up. Allah has said, "I bless you with a beautiful nature, a beautiful natural way of life." But here it is again. We ain't got it twisted up because now this norm, what they trying to slide in, that ain't the natural way of life. And then again, they're trying to burden us down with all these different ornaments of their lifestyle to try to make it seem like it's life. And some, like you say, and it's weighing so like us adults, we can handle the weight because we're mentally mature now. We understand the perception. We can put the puzzles together. You know what I'm saying? We know how to govern ourselves. But that's why we we have to stay in our kids' lives, in our youth lives, in our community lives. We cannot allow ourselves to be absent because they cannot carry the weight of what they some of these peers is putting on them. They go cash in. They're going to cash into their desires. We cannot give we can't give it room to grow. we can't we can't give it room to grow. You remember that movie, The Blob, back in the day when it started off little, then it gets real big, and you can't give it room to grow, man. Because when it gets out of hand, I say, sit down, boy. Hey, sit down. Now you can't. Now you can't even talk to your son because it got out of hand. The monster got out of hand because you was absent. Now you're trying to come back. Now you're trying to check the child or check the individual. Who are you? You ain't been around. You don't have that. You don't have that position to do that, man, because you never been there. So you got to learn to come at it in different ways. That's why I was saying one time, you cannot judge these kids when you first meet them on their ignorance. You can't go in and start judging them. You got to have an open mind and an open heart to so you can receive, so you can start correcting. If you go in there and just start, they go shut down, and man, you ain't doing nothing but making it hard. That making it harder to till the soil. You can't just go in there like that. And so now you can't educate them now. You can't govern them now. Because when it all comes down to it, it's all about money. These kids, they want to have something. They want to feel like they're somebody. It's all about economics. They want to feel like they have something. They want something. But we have to teach them and show them, if you don't learn how to think right, how to cultivate your mind right, how to move logically, and how to educate yourself, you're going to be in a very bad situation now. Because again, how they're giving these kids all these felonies and everything now, and it's going to be hard. And if you don't have the patience or the mentality to do other certain jobs, to be a man or a woman, you go give up and you go continue that cycle in that system. So at the same time, that's why we have to right now have the patience. If you saying you out here and you want to do the work and you willing to do the work, you gotta have the patience to accept what these kids have been through and what they did, so you can reach them and accept them again, because some of these kids have a whole lot of burden on them right now. A whole lot of burden on them right now. And like you say, the best teacher is what? Experience is the best teacher. And a lot of times these kids have experienced some things that way more than we have, to be honest. They ain't spirit. So going back to that little documentary, like I said, me and my wife, like here was three individuals at 18 or maybe 19 years old in this little rap industry, pulling 70,000 a year. I mean, 70,000 a year, 70,000 a show, and you might do 3 or 4 shows a week. So you got all this money now. So now you got this person over here got this money. This person over here got this money again. So now you just then you balling with chains, and you're balling with alcohol or promiscuous sex. And so again, you thinking that's the lifestyle because you never been educated. And then these 3 guys didn't know how to come together as one, and let's try to change and work together in the community, and let's try to invest in some business. What they did with their money? Okay, we got all this money now. I'm finna take this money now. I'm finna go buy drugs. I'm finna go buy guns, and I'm finna sell it and put it on the street. And then I'm selling drugs and putting it on the street. Then I'm also rapping. I'm putting the lyrics. I'm putting this in their mind. Just wow. Just a whole sad situation, man. You at this point and blessed, but you don't even know how to come out of it, and you just steady influencing the other young kids or the other people in the community with that, man. You don't even know how to correct it. It was just a sad situation. And so of course again they what you call when they be rapping against each other, what was it?
Battle rap.
No, not battle, not say battle rapping, dissing. So it started off, so now I got more money than you, so I'm dissing you. And because like my coworker, I said, I'm gonna use that. She said it's sad that they don't understand. It's like water. It's like water to a duck. I said, what are you talking about? She said, she said, you ever see water? Ducks when it rains, the water just roll off the duck's feather. She said that's how these words should be to them. It should just roll off. They shouldn't let that stick to them. They shouldn't let themselves get easily offended. She works at the juvenile detention with me. I said, you know what? I'm gonna start sharing it with them. It should be like water to a duck. You shouldn't let stuff stick to you like that. But when that ego is in place and that pride is in place, oh, you said, I'll put his head. He got to go. And that's how it's been around here, and it's been around in our culture with this so-called rap, the so-called movies. Because remember, the rap and the movies are not good unless somebody is deceiving somebody or killing somebody or cheating on somebody or killing somebody. Man, you seen it? Oh man, what? What's good about it? The man was cheating on his wife from the beginning of the movie. What's spending no time with his kids? What's good about it? Man, you gotta see it. What's good about it? That's what, again, illogic, right? You building a culture on some sick reasoning. And so now you're not correcting, you're not educating ourselves. Because remember, we supposed to be like Moses, we supposed to be educating ourselves after the error. You still stuck in the error. You're not re-educating yourself. There go that retarded cycle. It's going over and over again. Because we're not re-educating ourselves. My boys can tell you, they was mad at me. He could probably tell you, man, if I ain't here, he can probably tell you, yeah, he probably, like I said, because there ain't no dating. I used to tell my oldest boy, your dating is what? Your history books, your science book, you get them your women there. Your social study, your study, your books. Them that's who you should be dating right now. Man, what's wrong with him, my older boy? Man, what's wrong with him? He ain't, man, this is because I grew up in the era, and some people know in the era, I grew up with an uncle and a father tried to make it seem that it was live. To go out there and play these little games, these little fantasy games, playing like you're a man, trying to mess with all these women, but you're not being responsible. And so if you're not telling your kids or your sons that's gonna be a man when they stop playing all these games, and when it's time to be responsible for all these chaps or these kids, you're gonna be like the woman with so many kids in this book, in the book, didn't know what to do. Because now you got all this child support. Or you got some other man taking care. Now you frustrated. Because now she's calling, or the baby's calling him daddy, or this here daddy. That's why we gotta stop being absent in our kids' lives. That's why we gotta start giving them the tools while they're young now. Again, we gotta tend to the garden. We got to make sure they get the Quran. We got to make sure they understand who the Prophet Muhammad is and what his sunnah was, because he was the best husband, the best father, the best businessman. He was the best. And Allah is so merciful, he's going to give you the best. Didn't he say his promise? Didn't he say it again? What didn't Moses actually say? Wasn't Allah promised more handsome? Wasn't his promise good? I know I'll be talking good stuff to myself, but I understand too. But you got that Samiris, them good friends and them late night talkers that's just like trying to catch you unconscious to influence you. Your daddy not around, your mama not around. Man, let your hair down. Live a little bit. But when you start living a little bit and you start giving up and throwing yourself into that fire, into them desires, its consequences that come with that. And remember, we have to understand what's the difference between norm and Allah's natural behavior, Allah's natural responsibility, what He has made for man and made for woman. We have to understand our natural purpose and what we're supposed to be doing as man and woman. Remember, He said, I made you not but to what? Serve me and worship me. You can have a good time in this world, but don't get caught up with all this amusement and play. Because it's going to get serious one day. Remember slap boxing? Yeah. It look amusement while you watch it on the sideline till you actually get with a cat in there that got quicker hands, then you can't get one lick on them. And everybody watch you embarrassed like a mother. No, you don't want to slap no one. Now I'm ready to fight. So now it's like this. Don't play with this. Because at the end of the day, Satan gonna make you look embarrassed. He gonna make you look like a fool because his hands is quicker than you. His hands is quicker than yours. And he gonna make you look like a fool because he gonna slap you and have you looking crazy. Like you say, his thing is to put shame on you. I met a brother the other day. And I'm always meeting brothers like this here. It's nothing that you think that you did that you can't come back to Allah. You have brothers or you have people that's out here that's being taught, that thinking that what they did is to discourage Allah, that they cannot come back to this beautiful Islam. You can come back to this beautiful Islam. You can come back to Allah with anything you did. But you have people that's telling them or having them feel that they cannot come back to the masjid because of something they did. That's not true. Allah is the forgiver. Allah is the the all wise and the all judge, the best judger. Not you, man. You go judge somebody. As I conclude, I like to again thank everybody for tuning in on this beautiful public address today, this Talim, and thank Allah for waking me up and help giving me and using me to help do this work. Again, it's our goal is to help these young minds and these old minds to put a better perception of life and put some of the pieces back together that they don't understand. That's out of whack what's going on with them. To help learn them, help teach them how to come govern themselves better. You know, because that's what it's all about. It's about governing ourselves better, getting ourselves together. And because again, we have to learn how to save ourselves first so we can save ourselves, then our family, then our community. And if you don't do that, don't talk about nothing then. Don't sit there and judge then. You know, because that's what people do. I say, well, don't sit there and talk. If nobody ever taught the kid better to do better, don't judge them then. You got to show them. So again, I thank everybody. And if I said anything that was out of context, that was wrong, you know, forgive me. Because again, everything that I said was right was from Allah and only Allah. And as I end, I will end with Rabbana fi dunya hasanata wa fi akhirati hasanata wa qina adhaban. And that said, Allah, give us the best in this world and the best in the hereafter, and save it from the tortured fire. Thank you again. Assalamu alaikum.
Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Takbir.
Allahu Akbar. Any questions before we? Any questions? Anything? You see any questions? Anybody ask anything? Yes, sir.
I have no question, but I want to say, brother, that was a beautiful explanation and elaboration on the parable and the story of Moses.
Mm-hmm.
And I would suggest and ask that you give us a part 2 elaboration on
Inshallah, alhamdulillah.
Because there's so much in it.
Yes.
It's so deep.
Man.
There's so much that you can talk about that probably for months.
Yes, sir. And it was connected.
And it will all be relevant. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That was,
yes, sir.
Really, really good. I also want to make mention that, you know, you made a good point, you know, and I think it's better to say that the rappers of today are like the Samiri of
yes.
today, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are like the Samiri.
Yes, Samiris. Yes, sir.
And one of the things because all that the Samiri brought was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he invited the people to take the best of themselves, give it to him, and then he created this idol for them, and made the idol seem like it was making noise, like the idol itself was making. Isn't that what this rap thing is all about?
Yes,
you get
exactly.
the keyboard and you make the noise,
yes,
crazy noise.
Yeah, exactly.
All these crazy noises, but somehow it hypnotizes us. We find that we like this because it appeals to our physical nature.
We start desiring.
We start desiring, and so he connected to their desires.
Exactly.
Because they're suffering. You know, they're going through hardship. They're in the desert. They're lost, and all of a sudden they can't see their leader. You know, he doesn't step out of sight for a moment.
Because what you're just saying, because again, a lot of these young kids going through hardship.
Yeah.
And here it is, the rapper. My father was killed too. I sell, my community sell drugs too. So here it is. So now I can relate. And now with the beat, I'm hooked to the beat or whatever.
Because that's what he did. He created a sound. He created this noise. It says clearly, Quran. He made the idol seem as if it was lowing like a real cow.
Cow, yes.
So that tells me that he kind of gave it some kind of musical capability.
Yeah.
that appealed to their mind. So we replaced the spiritual with the physical, but it was an imitation. This is all an imitation. It was all designed ultimately to get them to worship him.
Yes, sir.
To follow him.
Yes, sir.
And what they would have ended in hellfire. And in fact, they were punished for this.
Yes, sir.
In fact, they were punished. It says that generation of people, Moses came down from the mountain and he put many of them to death. Many of them to death. Man. So, and that may say something about our current generation.
Exactly.
Maybe many of us must die.
Yeah.
Or it will be, maybe Allah will have to remove this entire generation.
And
resurrect a new one. Go ahead.
Because when we say Darlene, because remember we asking Allah to save us before we go astray. Because remember, when Allah allows you to go astray, ain't nothing can save you unless He brings you back in. And to bring you back in, you're gonna have to show some sincerity. But when you're so caught up in egotistic and pride, He gonna let you out there with no protection. And when it's time to come get you, ain't nothing you can do about it. And that's what happened to this individual. When the time came to come get him, we watched. We said, "Wow." He bragged about guns and everything and this and that and that. And when it was time for war, he didn't know what to do. And it was a wrap. SubhanAllah.
Some of the things I wanted to associate with the concept of the Sumerian.
Yes, sir.
So the rappers are the Sumerian of our modern word. They put shame on others.
Yes, sir.
They find fault.
Yes, sir.
Ridicule, degrade, beautify evil and wrong.
Yes, sir.
And they don't say nothing right.
Yeah.
They don't say nothing right, nothing I keep. Nothing.
Yes, sir.
You can't turn it on and find anything beneficial, productive, something that you could take something of what they say to your child. And come over here. Now I know people do. They play the music, got little kids dancing. Yeah. But in reality, a good parent wouldn't take anything of what Drake is talking about. There's nothing of that, what he's saying that I can give to my child that will help change his life for the better. So, alhamdulillah, brother, what you said was thought-provoking. I can't wait for you to elaborate on this.
Inshallah. Thank you. And people mad at Andre 3000. I like his CD.
I heard a brother say, someone said the other day, I forget who it was, he made a comment. He said, the music industry has no purpose for a non-gangster rapper.
Oh.
The music industry has absolutely no need for it used to be the opposite. It used to be, if you watch the NWA, that kind of recaps that history, that they had to fight just to get their voice out. But look what has happened.
Yes, sir.
And so it makes you kind of rethink what, who was that woman that came out against Ice Cube and NWA? I forget her. Tucker. Francis Tucker.
Yes, sir.
Or something like that. I forget her name. But it makes me really rethink that whole situation. I saw her as an enemy of
back then. I did too. Yeah.
But years forward, I now see her as, you know what? She was right.
Yeah.
Francis C. Tucker. I think that was her name. She was one of the few people that was just really disgusting, and I think she knew and saw where this was going.
See, we was young,
and we were like,
See, I was sixth grade. I was sixth grade. Because I remember I went to Louisiana. I snuck the CD to tape, and we had summer for 3 months. I went down there and learned the whole tape. So when I came back to school, I'm rapping. And for some reason, when kids rap, and a song, it's like people give you some honor. Oh, you know them lyrics now. You can cut. You know how to cut. You make it sound good. It's sad, man. Yeah, it's sad.
So inshallah, we will challenge ourselves to take the good and to leave the bad and to somehow redeem this whole situation.
Inshallah.
Because I think it can be redeemed. I think
it can.
There's something that can be done.
Yes, sir.
We just have to get in the mindset. So Moses came down from the mountain.
Yeah.
So maybe you could talk how he whipped them back into shape.
Inshallah.
Because he had to whip them back into shape.
Yes, sir.
Before they could enter the promised land.
Yes, sir. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.